Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the live reading from Brilliant as the Sun, a retelling of Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Part 2, Two Avatars. And we are going to begin chapter 17 today. Hiranyaksha conquers the universe. Yesterday we finished the fall of Jai and Vijay. So let's begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So let's begin. When Jai and Vijay take birth as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, many inauspicious omens occur. Maitreya describes both brothers and then focuses on Hiranyaksha's exploits. Meditating on Brahma's words, the gods became pacified. This is from first verse of chapter 17. They each in turn embraced Surya and assured him that he would recover. Surya's worried expression softened. Yes, he said, there is no use being disturbed by what the Lord has arranged. True, true, they all agreed. Chandra also cheered up. We must remember that even reverse conditions are the Lord's grace, he said. So this is how we tolerate everything in this life. As per this sentence, that we must remember that even reverse conditions are Lord's grace. They each offered their obeisances to Brahma and departed. Verse 2, Kashyap entered Diti's chamber. Her face was soaked in perspiration and she groaned from the force of her contractions. Yet with gritted teeth she refused to give birth. Seeing his wife's plight, Kashyap said, there is no use in resisting any longer, dear wife. If you do not give birth, you will be ripped apart. Tears fell from her eyes. Dear husband, I fear my sons will destroy the universe. You cannot prevent destiny. For 100 years you have kept them in your womb, but even now they threaten the universe with their intense energy. Give birth now, gentle lady. Tears fell from her eyes. Dear husband, I fear my sons will destroy the universe, she said. Acquiescing to her husband's order, Diti finally gave birth to twin sons. Immediately, many strange and terrible disturbances occurred on earth. Verses 3 and 4. In the heavens and in the region between, violent tremors shook the earth. Everywhere natural fires erupted. Inauspicious Saturn blazed brightly. Comets, meteors and thunderbolts lit up the sky. Fears gripped people's heart. These are signs that fierce demons are taking birth, they exclaimed. Verses 5 to 8. Harsh winds constantly hissed, uprooting gigantic trees. Hurricanes ravaged the earth, raising massive clouds of dust, which screened the heavenly luminaries. Bolts of lightning flashed through the air. Thunder rumbled like evil laughter. Darkness enveloped the world and nothing could be seen. The turbulent ocean wailed loudly, its high waves crashing down. Aquatics swam hither and thither in panic. Rivers and lakes bubbled and foamed violently, destroying the lotuses. There were simultaneously solar and lunar eclipses with misty halos. Claps of thunder were heard in cloudless skies and and sounds like the rattling of chariots emerged from mountain caves. Verses 9 to 14. She-jackals vomiting fire roamed through the villages, their howls mixed with hooting of owls. Dogs with upraised necks growled and barked intermittently. Asses ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hooves and braying wildly. Frightened by the asses, birds flew shrieking from their nests. Cattle in the cowsheds as well as in the woods passed dung and urine simultaneously. Trees fell without a blast of wind. Terrified cows yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained pus. The images of gods in the temple shed tears. Ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter than the auspicious ones like Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. With retrograde motion, they opposed the benevolent planets. Verse 15, seeing the many evil omens, both men and celestials were terrified. They thought the dissolution of the universe was at hand. Only the four Kumars who knew of the fall of Jay and Vijay and their birth as Diti's sons remained unperturbed. The tall trees shading the grove where Maitreya and Vidur sat rustled gently in the late afternoon breeze. Shrieking monkeys clamored in the branches as they playfully chased each other. Their commotion interrupted Maitreya's train of thought. He looked up at the reddish sun sitting low in the sky. It was almost time for his evening prayers. Vidur said, "Please do not stop." What happened next? Maitreya replied, "The sun will set soon. Let us take our evening bath and chant our mantras. We can continue after that." The two friends took off their outer clothes and entered the nearby pool. After they gathered wood and stoked the fire, Maitreya picked up a dozen or so ripe figs which he shared with Vidur. As night fell, they huddled around the fire. Vidur said, "What did the twins do after their birth?" Verses 16 and 17. Maitreya said, "These two primeval demons quickly exhibited uncommon bodily features, spending most of their time in developing their physique. Their bodies became like steel. They rapidly grew tall like two mountains. Their gold crowns seemed to kiss the sky. They blocked the view in all directions and shook the earth with their every step. Brilliant bracelets adorned their arms and elaborately inscribed golden girdles encircled their waists." "What were their names?" asked Vidur. Verse 18, the first son Kashyap impregnated in Diti he named Hiranyakashipu. The son who took first birth he named Hiranyaksha. Hiranyakashipu received a boon from Lord Brahma, which made him proud and unafraid of death. Consequently, he conquered the three planetary systems. But let me first tell you about Hiranyaksha. Eager to please his elder brother, he took a club on his shoulder and coursed throughout the universe in a fighting spirit. Vidur wrapped his woolen shawl tightly around his shoulders and leaned forward, eager to hear Maitreya's account. Verses 21 to 22. Hiranyaksha soared through the skies, roaring like a furious lion. Golden anklets adorned his feet. A great garland hung around his neck, and a colossal mace rested on one of his broad shoulders. Seeing the gods fleeing in fear at this, as his very sight, like snakes fleeing from Garud, he laughed loudly. Who could even stand before him? Never mind, kill him. 23 to 25 verse. Hiranyaksha scoured the heavens, seeing an opponent. The whole place was deserted. He snorted, "Where were those cowardly gods so proud of their strength?" The demon threw his head and bellowed in triumph. Like a rampaging elephant, he returned from the heavens and plunged into the deep and turbulent ocean. Maybe there was someone in the nether regions he could combat. As he entered the water, the aquatics fled in all directions. The colossus roared jubilantly. He had established his supremacy without dealing a single blow. Verses 26 to 28. Hiranyaksha thrashed about in the ocean, smashing the immense wind-tossed waves repeatedly with his iron mace. Surely there was someone somewhere who was able to fight with him. After many years he reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varun, lord of the aquatics and the lower regions where demons generally dwell. Bursting into Varun's court, Hiranyaksha knelt before him in mock humility. "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord. You are one of the universal guardians, a ruler of wide fame. After crushing the might of conceited warriors and conquering the demonic races, you once performed the Rajsuya sacrifice. Verse 29, Hiranyaksha paced before Varun like a proud lion, arrogantly flexing his bulging muscles. Varun anger flared up, however, knowing that only Vishnu could defeat Hiranyaksha, he strenuously contained his indignation. Dear sir, I am too old for combat and have therefore desisted from warfare. Hiranyaksha beat the ground with his mace. Who will satisfy my urge for battle? Verse 30, Varun replied, you are so skilled in war that only the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, can match you. Therefore, O chief of the demon races, approach him who is praised even by heroes like you. He will soon rid you of your pride. You will then lie down on the battlefield for eternal sleep, surrounded by dogs. It is to exterminate wicked fellows like you and to show his grace to the virtuous that he assumes various incarnations like Varaha or the Boar incarnation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai. We're going to begin chapter 18 as well. Lord Boar fights Hiranyaksha, because I don't want to just finish here where the demons have taken birth. I want to read the auspicious pastimes also. As Lord Varaha rescues the earth, he is attacked by Hiranyaksha and a fierce fight ensues. Verse 1, Hiranyaksha sneered. Hiranyaksha rushed out in search of Vishnu. With upraised mace, he thundered, Vishnu, show yourself to me if you dare. Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur ki jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balram ki jai. Hiranyaksha towered over Narad. If you know his whereabouts, Vishnu, show yourself to me if you dare. He dared. Lord Vishnu. Now Hiranyaksha raced menacingly through Vibhavari. Narad Muni happened to see him. Strumming his lute or his veena, he went before the demon. You seek Lord Vishnu. Hiranyaksha towered over Narad. If you know his whereabouts, great sage, tell me at once. Narad bowed graciously. O best of the Asurs, I recently saw the Lord dive deep into the Garbhodak ocean to rescue the earth. I'm sure if you hurry, you will find him there. Verse 2, Hiranyaksha sped towards the Garbhodak ocean. Seeing the principal gods and celestial sages gathered in the sky singing Vishnu's praise, Hiranyaksha surmised he must be nearby. He dived deep into the ocean, peering his way, and that in search of Vishnu. Suddenly he saw a gigantic boar rising from the ocean, which is the Vara avatar of Vishnu, from the ocean depths with the earth on end of his tusks. Shielding his eyes from the dazzling glare emanating from the boar's eyes, Hiranyaksha laughed. So Vishnu is merely an amphibious beast. Verse 3, as the divine boar rose to the surface, Hiranyaksha gave chase. Lowest of the gods released the earth. Varaha smiled, recognizing his eternal servant Vijay. So this is beautiful Leela. This is how it happens when Krishna wants to have some pastimes. His eternal associates take part. Here the eternal doorkeeper, his eternal servant Vijay, Lord is smiling at him as Lord Vara incarnation. Although Hiranyaksha was insulting Vara by the subtleties of Sanskrit phraseology, the Lord interrupted his words to mean, Omniscient Lord, do not give up the earth. Hiranyaksha intercepted Vara. He stood before him with his legs splayed and his fists on his hips. This earth has been entrusted to us, the inhabitants of the lower regions. I will certainly give you a good battering if you try and take it in my presence. Varaha chuckled. Unknown to Hiranyaksha, his words again had a dual meaning. The Lord interpreted them as Brahma has entrusted the earth to you. Despite my presence, You will certainly rescue her. Not only will you take the earth, but you will also take my wealth and kingdom, and by so doing show me your mercy. Verse 4. Infuriated by Boar's mirth, Hiranyakashipu snarled and said, "You have always sided with the gods, and in doing so harmed the demons. You killed my kind by keeping yourself hidden and using mystic trickery. Now we are face to face. You will not escape. Fool, today I shall enliven my relatives by killing you." Varaha heard him say, "The gods have taken shelter of you since you liberate the demons by slaying them. Although you remain invisible, you are always victorious. You have an inconceivable power and liberate even the friends of those who remember you. Therefore, to destroy my kinsman suffering, I fixed my mind on you. Lord, you show your kindness to fools by giving them devotion to you." Verse 5. Seeing that Varaha was not in the least cowed, Hiranyaksha became even more enraged. "When you fall down dead, your skull smashed by a club, all the sages and gods will also cease to exist. Varaha heard, your skull will withstand the force of my club, and you will deprive me of my weapon. At that time, both the gods and sages will be very much satisfied." The onlooker gods and sages, hearing only Hiranyaksha's threats, let out cries of fears. Verse 6. Seeing them disturbed by demons shaft like insults, Varaha felt a pang of compassion. The earth seated on his tusks interpreted his pain look as an indication that he was frightened of the demon, and she trembled in terror. To allay her fear, Varaha rose quickly out of the water, just as an elephant emerges with his female companion when assailed by an alligator. Verse 7. Hiranyaksha's fearful tusks cleaved through the water, and his golden hair flew behind him as he pursued the Lord. He resembled like a crocodile chasing an elephant. Roaring like thunder, he derided Varaha. "Are you not ashamed of fleeing from a challenging adversary? Is nothing reproachable for shameless creatures like you?" Varaha heard, "Shame on me, wicked and selfish. I pursue Lord Varaha, who is lifting the earth for the good of all. What heinous acts will egotistic people like me not do?" Verse 8. Reaching the ocean surface, Varaha carefully placed the earth on the water and infused her with his own energy, so she would float. In the skies, Brahma and other celestials sang Varaha's praises, raining flower petals on him while ignoring Hiranyaksha. Verse 9. Hiranyaksha seethed, his golden armor and bangles flashing. He pursued Varaha, flailing his great mace in the air and screaming obscenities. The gods wailed, "Why does the Lord does not kill him?" Brahma said, "Varaha could have easily killed him, Hiranyaksha, even while he carried the earth on his tusks. He did not do so because he wants to teach us that we should not fear demonic people while executing our duties. He toys with this demon to show us that protected by him we have nothing to fear." The gods felt their anxieties somewhat relieved. Verse 10. Feigning anger, Varaha addressed the demon, "Indeed, I am a jungle beast, and I am searching for dogs like you. Heroes like me never fear the bragging of those bound by the ropes of the earth." Verse 11. Varaha assumed a mocking tone of lamentation. "Since I stole something entrusted to the demons, I flee shamelessly. And from your club, reluctantly, I must now make a stand and face you. What a choice! What choice do I have? As having made an enemy of you, there is nowhere for me to go." Some of the witnessing celestials realized Varaha was toying with Hiranyaksha. Others worried he may actually be afraid. Verse 12. Gigantic Boar challenged Hiranyaksha, this is verse 12, "You command many soldiers. You do not. Why waste time? Try your best to defeat me. Stop talking foolishly." Stop talking foolishly. Only by slaying me you can wipe away your relative's distress. You may be proud of your prowess, but if you fail to keep your promise to kill me, you are unfit to sit in an assembly of heroes. Verses 13 to 19. Mocked in this way, Hiranyaksha trembled with anger like a provoked cobra. Hissing indignantly, the demon sprang upon the Lord, swinging his terrific mace like an accomplished yogi deluding death. Varaha dodged the violent blow aimed at his chest. He charged Hiranyaksha, who brandished his weapon. His face contorted in rage, Varaha swung his own mace at his enemy's brow. Hiranyaksha deflected the blow with his own club. The two enraged combatants, both intent on victory, began to land blows on one another. They pounded each other with their weapons for some time. Both bled profusely. Each became infuriated at the smell of his own blood. They fought like two maddened bulls contending over a cow. Verse 20. Brahma and celestial sages crowded the skies, anxiously watching the terrible fight. Verses 21 to 23. The demon fought with great valor. Brahma urged Varaha to exert his power. My dear Lord, this demon is a constant threat to the gods, Brahmins, cows, and all innocent beings who worship you. I once gave him a boon, and since then he harasses and terrorizes everyone, wandering through the universe spoiling for a fight. Varaha sportingly continued to parry with Hiranyaksha, as Garud might toy with the snake. Verses 24 to 28. Brahma called out, My Lord, please do not play with this demon. He is expert at magic, proud, unpredictable, and wicked. Soon it will be twilight when the demon's powers increases. It will be harder to kill him then. Therefore, O infallible one, slay him at once. The auspicious midday hour is almost ended. The auspicious midday hour is almost ended. In the interest of your friends, dispose of this formidable foe. Luckily for us, this demon has come to you of his own accord. His death is ordained by you. Therefore, exhibiting your prowess, kill him in the duel and restore peace to the worlds. So this brings us to the end of chapter 17. Hiranyaksha conquers the universe. And next we will read from chapter 19, the demon slain. So our prayers to Lord, that Lord, please restore the peace in the world and annihilate this demon called the corona, which is wreaking havoc on the lives of the people everywhere, especially in India at the moment. It is really, really disturbing people and people's peace of minds and their lives. So please, 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 Shri Shri Gauranitai, Shri Krishna Balram, Shri Radha Shyam Sundar, and the Guru Parampara, and all the devotees, our prayers that the world comes to its normal without this demon, the coronavirus. I'll take leave of you with these beautiful visuals of the Aarti, the Rajbhog Aarti going on in ISKCON Vrindavan. Please chant and be happy and keep your thoughts good and keep your daily routine nice, and don't spend too much time on the social media, and especially before you go to bed, switch off the devices and do some exercises, and also eat nutritious food, look after yourself, look after your families, and spend quality time with your loved ones and help each other as you can. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai, Shri Shri Lalita Vishaka ki jai, Shri Shri Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna.